It's calculating something, isn't it? Test 1, 2. Test. Very loud, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that okay on mine? Test 1, 2.
Hello, hello.
Sounds echoey. Test.
Hello.
That's the same thing, isn't it?
What if you just turn it down the mic?
Right, I've done now. Test 1, 2. Test. Test.
Can you turn it?
Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test. Test 1, 2. That's better. Shabbat Shalom.
Hello, testing.
We can just use that rundown.
Okay, we're on. Yep. That's good.
Okay.
I'm kind of concerned that might start feedback as well.
Well, it's not. It's not right now. It's on and I'm off or you off. We'll just use that until I have to go up there.
And then we'll turn on.
Okay.
Let me think for a moment. It's very low. Let me put that down. Yes.
So it's not me.
Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely good on that's what
It was fine last night.
and there's quite a few, even if you transferred all of them, it wouldn't even
I've just switched all of them. Just made sure they were all off.
duplicate something different. Yeah, so, I mean, not only...
No, they're all off, Ellie. They're all
It's
off.
also not, no, it's not appropriate. It isn't, but they have learned their Anyway, give the thought to it for now. I think that's come up really nice.
Very nice,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
It's worked well.
Yeah.
How they're
Yeah.
sort of in the middle there.
Yeah, yeah. Looks
Made
like it was
clear
always
again.
like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay.
That was for you. I think it's 10 o'clock. We should start.
Oh, I saw your paper on that. So, I can't see it in the kitchen. Oh, yeah.
Just wait till this is
Yeah.
Shana Tova, Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat Shalom.
Gemar Chatima Tova. May we be inscribed in the book of life for a good year, a year of health and happiness. And this Shabbat is a Shabbat Shuvah, the special Shabbat that falls between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So named because of the idea of in Shuvah is to return, to Shuvah. And so it continues that theme and that idea of returning, of repentance. But it's a Shabbat where we get just to take a breath, isn't it? Between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And just take in a deep breath and go, oh my gosh, Yom Kippur is only a couple days away. And of course, Yom Kippur, Kol Nidre begins on Tuesday night, and we'll go through Wednesday. And this weekend, I believe, daylight savings begins. And that's why our fast doesn't go out till 8:11 p.m. That is not a mistake on your tickets, my friend. For those people who emailed us and said, why is the fast going out so late? It usually goes out between about 6:30 and 7:15. Well, and of course it's later in the year. You know, we're in the middle of October as opposed to last year. Do you remember when Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur was last year? It was a month earlier.
Yeah.
Rosh Hashanah was like the 2nd or 3rd of September. So you can imagine with daylight savings, so that it's everything with being so late during the year of the Gregorian calendar and daylight savings, we really are
Struggling.
Yes.
Mind you, the fast does start an hour later the day before.
It does, but when it's in your mind, you're not used to eating tea or dinner at 8:11. And I was with some friends yesterday who said, we're not even putting on a full dinner. It's just going to be the German breakfast, which is just going to be eggs and coffee and cake.
I think we're doing beer at the local
And
tap
that's it.
house.
You're doing beer?
Yeah, we do beer at the local tap house.
So it's
With the boys.
it's just one of those things that, in terms of the Jewish calendar, for those people who live in Alaska, they're starting to get into winter, they might only have to fast for 3 days. 3 hours. 3 days. But you know what they do? What I understand that they do when people live in countries like Alaska, or they follow the calendar of the closest reasonable city. So parts of Alaska will follow Vancouver, for example, which is an elongated day, but it's not quite of 3 hours of
Reasonable city.
elongated. No. Vancouver. My accent isn't that strong. Oh, you prefer the dates for next year. I'm so pleased, Carolyn. So let us not delay moving into our service any further as we welcome you to Shabbat morning services, and those who are joining us through TBI TV, through YouTube, we welcome everyone. Let's join together with the blessing for our bodies, because that's really what got us here this morning, page 194. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yatsa et ha'adam b'chokhmah, u'v'ra'avo nekavim, chalulim. גלוי וידוע לפני כיסא כבודיך, שאם יפפתח אחד מהם, או יסתם אחד מהם, אי אפשר להתקיים ולעמוד לפניך. ברוך אתה אדוני, רופא כל בשר, ומפליא לעשות.
אלוהי, נשמה שנתת בי טהרה היא, אתה יצאת, אתה נפחת בי, ואתה משמרה בקרבי, כל זמן שהנשמה בקרבי. מודה אני לפניך, אדוני אלוהי, אלוהי אבותי, מודה אני לפניך, אדוני אלוהי ואלוהי אבותי, ריבון כל המעשים, אדון כל הנשמות, ברוך אתה אדוני, אשר
continue with the Nisim B'chol Yom on page 198, the daily blessings.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam.
Keep going.
Asher natan l'schavi, vida lechavchin vein yom uvein laila.
Amen. Baruch atah. It's all good. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, mati basurim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, roka haaretz al hamayim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaber.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish awumim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hanotein le'ha'ef ko'av.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hemeyavir shena me'enai, utnuma me'yafapai.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tselem Elohim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, sheyasani ben chorin.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, otzer Yisrael b'gvura.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, otei Yisrael v'tifara.
Amen. Baruch
atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Page 204. V'harevna Adonai Eloheinu et divrei Toratecha b'finu, u'b'fiamcha Beit Yisrael. V'nihye nachnu v'tzetzaenu v'tzetzaeamcha Beit Yisrael. V'lanu yodei shemecha v'lomdei Toratecha lishma. Baruch atah Adonai, hamelamed Torah la'amo Yisrael. On page 209, in addition after having read this blessing for the study of Torah, I find by experience, not by reasoning, but by my own discovery that God is near me, and I can be near God at all times. I cannot explain it, but I am sure of my experience as I am of the fact that I live and love. I cannot explain how I have come to live and love, but I know I do. In the same way, I know I am in contact with God. We'll continue with the Sukkah de Zimra on page 212.
Baruch Shema B'Haya Haolam, Baruch Otzei Bereshit, Baruch Omer V'Oseh, Baruch Ozer U'Makayem, Baruch Merachem al Haaretz, Baruch Merachem al Habriot, Baruch Meshalem Zachar Tov Li'Reov, Baruch Ha'elad, V'Kayam LaNetzach, Baruch Odeh U'Matzil, Baruch Shemo.
B'shvachot u'smirot nagadeh lecha, u'neshabechecha nefa'erecha v'nazkir shimcha v'namlichecha malkeinu Eloheinu, Yachid Chei Ha'olamim Melech Meshubach u'Mefa'ar Adei Ad Shemo HaGadol, Baruch atah Adonai Melech Mahulal Batishbachot.
Shabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, u'lezamer
15.
Ashrei yoshvei veitecha, od yehalelu chasela.
Ashrei ha'am shekachalo, Ashrei ha'am sh'Adonai Elohav.
Tila le David, abo mimcha, Elohei hamelech ve'avacha shimcha le'olam va'ed.
Bechol yom avchecha ve'alasecha ve'alal shimcha le'olam va'ed.
Gadol Adonai u'mehula me'od, ve'ligdulato ein heker.
Doledo yeshabach ma'asecha, u'gvoratecha yagidu.
Hadar kevod, hodecha v'divrei nifotecha asicha.
Ve'ezuz naratecha yomemer, ugdulatcha safrena.
Zecher rav tuvayach biyu, ve'tzidkatcha yevaneinu.
Chanun barachum Adonai Adonai, erech apayim ugdal chesed.
Tov Adonai, la'kol v'rachamal al kol ma'asav.
Yoducha Adonai kol maasecha v'chasidecha yibarucha.
Kevod malchutcha yomeru, ugvuratcha yedaberu.
Lahodiya mipnei hadam yerubta, gukvod hadam huto.
Malchutcha, malchut kol olamim, umenshatcha be'kol dovador.
Somech Adonai lecho hanoflim, v'zokef lecho hakufufim.
Einei kol elecha yesaberu, ve'yatanoten lahem etechlam beito.
Poteach et yadecha, umasbiya lecho chayratzon.
Tzadik Adonai bekol derachav, ve'chasid bekol ma'asav.
Karov Adonai lecho korav, lecho asher yikrauhu be'emet.
Reitzon yireyav yaseh, be'et Shabbatam yishma ve'yoshiyem
Shomer Adonai et kol ohavav, ve'et kol asher she'im yashmid.
Tilat Adonai yedaber pi ve'barech kol bashar shekodsho le'olam va'ed.
ואנחנו נברך יה מעתה ועד עולם. Hallelujah. Psalm 150 on the next page, 218.
Hallelujah.
Pesukei de Zimra with Yishtabach on page 223. Yishtabach Shimcha La'ad Malkenu, Ha'el HaMelech HaGadol VaHaKadosh B'Shamayim uVa'aretz. Ki Lechana Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, Shiru Shvacha, Halel v'Zimra, Ozo Memshila, Netzach Gedolah Gvura, Tehillah v'Tiferet Kedusha Malchut, Barachot v'Hodaot, Me'ata ve'ad olam. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMelech Gadol Batishpachot, El HaOdaot, Hadon HaNiflaot, HaBocher B'Shirei Zimra, Melech Elchei HaOlamim. Let's rise for the Chatzi Kadesh on page 224.
Yitkada v'yitkada Shemei Rabbah, Amen. Ve'amad yivarach Yirutei, ve'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachan u'v'yom echad, u'v'chayida kol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalu v'zman kariv, ve'imru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach, ve'yishtabach, ve'yitpah, ve'yitramam, ve'yitnaseh, ve'yitada, ve'yitaleh, ve'yitalal, Shemei Nekudesha brichu, le'ela u'le'ela min kol birchata, ve'shiata, tushbechata, ve'nechemata, daviga ve'ama, ve'imru Amen.
We may be seated. We continue with the blessing for the day on page 228. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or v'rei choshech, osei shalom u'v'rei et hakol, hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha brachamim, u'tuvo machadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit. Ma'arabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam b'chochma asita, mala haaretz kinyanecha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, va'al morei or she'asita yafarucha sela. Or chadash al Tzion ta'ir v'nizkech ulanu mehera la'oro. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'orot. Page 230. Ahava rabbah avtanu Adonai Eloheinu, chemla gedolah v'terach hamalta aleinu, ba'avur avotenu shebatchu v'cha, v'tlamded chukei chayim kein tochanenu utlamdenu. Hamrachem rachem aleinu, v'tein belibenu lahavin ulhaskil lishmo lilmod ulamed, lishmo v'lasot ulkayem et kol divrei Talmud Toratecha ba'ahava. V'ha'er enenu b'Toratecha v'dabek libenu b'mitzvotecha, v'yached levavenu lahava u'yira et shemecha. V'lo nevosh v'lo nikalem, v'lo nikashel le'olam va'ed, ki v'shem kodshecha hagadol v'hanara b'tachnu, nagila v'nismacha b'shuatecha. V'avienu l'shalom me'arba kanfot ha'aretz, v'tolichenu kumiyut la'artzenu. Ki el poel yeshuot ata, uvanu v'achata v'keraftanu l'shimcha hagadol selah be'emet, l'hodot lacha u'yachedacha b'yahava. Baruch atah Adonai, habocheh ba'amo Yisrael,
ואהבה. שמע
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי ביתיהם לדורתם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף לתות תכלת, וחיה להם לציצית וראיתם אותו. וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם צונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem, Amen. We wish you Mazel Tov, Eli, as you become a bar mitzvah next Shabbat. You excited?
Yep,
Yep. Are you ready?
I think so.
I think you are ready. Mazel Tov to you and your.
We have some
your family.
homework on the Ashrei.
We have to learn the Ashrei. You know the Ashrei. We need to learn that version. Thank you, Rabbi Morgan, for singing it so loudly so we could follow along with you. So we're going to continue in our service on page 239. Emet, there is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness there is your word. Emet, that pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame, stir the soul's passion, guide our sacred way. True and enduring is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sing out and rejoice.
Israel,
begins on page 242.
Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufiagita Hilatecha, Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu, Melohei Avoteinu ve'Imoteinu, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Hagadol, Magen Abraham, Ezrat Sarah, Amen. Atagi bolel Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Ata, Rav Hoshia, Mashiv Haruach Umarit HaGeshem, Mazriach Shemesh Umoritata Mechakel Hayim Bechesed Mechayem Eitim Berachamim
Lehachayot hakol Baruch Ata Adonai Mekayeh Hametim. Amen.
The Kudushai is on page 248.
Mekadesh et shimcha ba'olam keshem shemakdishim oto b'shmei maram kakatuv al yad levi'echa Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Melech haaretz kevodo. Adir, Adireinu, Adonai, Adoneinu, Ma'adir Shimcha bechol haaretz. Baruch kavod Adonai mimakomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Makeinu, hu Moshiachenu, hu Yashmienu berachamav, berachamav b'nei kol. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Zion, ledor vador. Hallelujah. Ledor vador nagid godlecha, ulenatzach netzachim kedushat chanakdish, v'shivachach Eloheinu mimenu lo yamush le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMelech HaKadosh. Amen.
As we are seated, we continue with Yismachu on page 250 as Kedushat Hayom begins.
Yismachu b'malchutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Yismachu b'malchutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. B'kodeshei shvi Shabbat, kulam yisma'u, v'yitengu mitovecha Shabbat. Yismachu b'malchutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Yismachu b'malchutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei.
Kedushat Hayom continues on page 253. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat, on page 254. Page 256, Prayer of Thanksgiving, Hoda'ah. We acknowledge with thanks that you are our eternal God and the God of our ancestors forever. You're the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. Inscribe all the children of your covenant for a good life. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Eternal One. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, u'lecha na'eh lahodot. page 258. Prayer of Shalom, of peace. Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha, Chen V'Chesed V'Rachamim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael Amecha. Barchenu Avinu Kulanu Ka'eched Ba'or Panecha, Ki Va'or Panecha Natata Lanu Adonai Eloheinu. Torat Chayim U'Vahavat Chesed, U'Tzedakah Uvracha V'Rachamim, V'Chayim V'Shalom. V'Tov Beinecha Levarech Et Amcha Yisrael, V'Chol Eit U'V'Chol Sha'ah, B'Shlomecha. V'Sefer Chayim Bracha V'Shalom, U'Farnasa Tova, Nizacher V'Nikatev Lefanecha. Anachnu V'Chol Amcha Beit Yisrael, L'Chayim Tovim U'L'Shalom, Baruch Atah Adonai, Oseh HaShalom, Baruch Atah Adonai, HaMavarech Et Amo Yisrael B'Shalom. Let's pause for a few moments of silent prayer.
Shalom b'mrama, Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom b'mrama,
Adam, may God bring peace to the world, and we say amen. And Ellie, before you start playing, I saw you turning the pages, getting ready and into place. I'm going to share with you a text study, my drush, so you can take a seat off that, you can take a seat away from the piano for just a moment. As I was reading the prayer for shalom, the prayer for peace, you probably noticed that I was a little bit in autopilot. I went straight into Shabbat Shuvah and did the Chatimah, Baruch Atah Adonai Oseh HaShalom, and then the autopilot set in because I'm so used to saying the Chatimah that we say for Shabbat, Baruch Atah Adonai Baruch Atah Adonai HaMavarech Et Amo Yisrael B'Shalom. And I was thinking, so why? And I was thinking to myself, so why did I do that? Not so much the autopilot, but what's the difference between the two chatimot, the two ending blessings? Well, if you think about it, it's the first one, the one for Shabbat Shuvah, which should have ended the prayer, and I didn't end it there. I kept going. Baruch Atah Adonai Oseh HaShalom, blessed is God, the creator of peace. Full stop. That's what we say on Shabbat Shuvah. But for the rest of the year, we say, Baruch Atah Adonai, blessed are you, eternal God, HaMavarech Et Amo Yisrael B'Shalom, who blesses his people Israel with peace. So the question I asked myself, and I'm still figuring out the answer, maybe you can help me, is why on Shabbat Shuvah do we just bless God for being the creator of peace, and as opposed to the rest of the year, when we say, who blesses your people Israel, with peace. So going from the universalistic approach on Shabbat Shuvah to very much the particularist approach for the rest of the year. Anybody want to offer me an answer? If we just do Baruch Atah Adonai Aseh Shalom, why don't we do that the whole year? Why only on Shabbat Shuvah? That was my question, Sandra. That's your answer. Are you Jewish? You're answering question with a question. Evelyn, you raise your hand. So you kind of say, well, let's do Oseh Shalom. Let's go for peace for everybody to start off the year right, because it's the birthday of the year. And then by the time we get to the following Shabbat, we've lost our way already. So Shabbat is only for us, and so therefore we can be particularist. But isn't that today? No, I know. And my job is to keep asking, questions. Yeah. I do like that answer, by the way. Is anybody here for the first time? Absolutely. People often, they feel inspired after Rosh Hashanah. Oh, I'm going to make a bigger effort. I'm going to come to shul more. They come to Shabbat Shuvah. Then you stop thinking. Ezra. We're asking for radical change. We're asking for more effort, in a sense, to keep pushing forward. And it's interesting in the liturgy for me, because we go from Shalom, we go from Sim Shalom, the prayer that we just read. We then have silent prayer, and then what prayer do we often sing next? Oseh Shalom. Sometimes we do Yehi L'Ratzon, but if you have actually look at the liturgy as it's laid out in the prayer book on page 260, it goes Yehi L'Ratzon first as the set liturgy, then Oseh Shalom. So we've got two prayers there that focus solely on this idea of peace. Which is, for me, it's interesting, because this one, Oseh Shalom, is may the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, all Israel, and all who inhabit the earth. Now, all who inhabit the earth is an addition that we've put in, because the Hebrew is Va'al kol yoshvei tevel. Sometimes we add in Va'al kol b'nei Adam, which is another version of and b'nei Adam, all the people of the earth. So we've moved into a sense to this Oseh Shalom. So we really could just do Oseh Shalom, because it includes the particularist as well as the universal ideas embedded in that. That's actually not what I wanted to talk to you about. I think we have a few minutes this morning. We've got 3 aliyot, and I'm going to move very quickly through the text study that I've prepared, focusing on this week's parasha Vayelech, and I'm going to touch a little bit on last week's Shabbat parasha of Nitzavim. And Ellie, next week you've got Ha'azinu, correct? So you've got this beautiful song, this beautiful poem. In the sense, then the last parasha we read, which is on Simchat Torah, is V'zot HaBracha, which ends the Torah reading, and then we start again with Bereshit, but that's through Simchat Torah. So I'll hand out, there's plenty of copies if I could get a bit of help. And I want to look at the idea, very briefly, of the names of the parashiot that we're looking at, specifically last week and this week. Last week was Nitzavim. And when else do we read Nitzavim? Yom Kippur. We read it on Yom Kippur, and it's the second word of the parasha that begins, Atem Nitzavim Hayom Kulchem Lifnei Adonai. It's the first text on the sheet, but you don't have to have your sheet in front of you for the moment. Atem Nitzavim, you are standing here today. The focus of the word that is Nitzav is to stand. So here you are, Moses is on top of Mount Sinai and turns around and says, Atem Nitzavim Hayom, you're all standing here today. You're present. If you're standing, are you moving? In your mind? Maybe. I'm standing and I'm moving about at the same time. Or am I upright moving about? How do we interpret standing? Is this standing? Standing still. Okay. So hold on to that idea. Hold on to that idea, because if we look at last week's parasha, Atem Nitzavim, you are standing here. There's this feeling that everybody is standing in awe, waiting for Torah. Right? Everybody's standing there. And then go to the name of this week's parasha, which is Vayelech. Does anybody know where the word Vayelech comes from? Moving forward, it comes from the word halach, which means, thank you, which means to walk. So we go from last week's parasha of standing to this week's portion of walking. What are we walking to? We're walking for, beautiful, you're walking to Torah. Where else are we walking to? We're walking to the land of Israel. Evelyn. So you were at Caulfield Shul last night. I wasn't there, so I don't know what Rabbi Ganendi said. Sorry? It was packed. What's the South African Jews going on the Friday night? Sure. Great minds think alike. Great minds think alike. He didn't hand out this text study, did he? No. This I actually put together. But I want you to think about this idea of standing to moving. And we can say we're moving to Torah. We can say we're moving to the Promised Land. But I want to give us a couple more examples, and as I said, we'll move quickly through these, of specific ways of walking. And then I also want to have a look at angels, also very briefly. So if you have a look at Genesis 12:1 and 22:2, one is, the Eternal said to Abram, go forth from your native land, from your father's house, to the land that I will show you. You can see I've got in bold in the Hebrew. This is lech lecha. Lech lecha, a different form of the word halach, which is also go, walk. But where is he walking? He's not just walking towards a place. Yes, he is. He's walking away from something, isn't he? He's walking away from things that he's familiar. What is happening with Abram? Not Abraham in this moment, he's still Avram. What's he walking towards? Sandra? He's walking towards Israel, yes, potentially. He's walking towards a new life. He's walking towards something else. Jackie, what were you going to say before I jump to Victor? He's walking towards himself, and he's walking towards, I'm going to throw it out there, he's walking towards faith. The biggest challenge of his life, which is belief in one God. He's got this moment. And then have a look at number 22 and tell me if you think that this is also about faith. So this is now, we're moving to the Akedah. So just one chapter, 11 chapters later, and God said, take your son, your favored one, Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on the one of the heights that I will point out to you. V'lech lecha el eretz haMoriah. And again, the same wording. Lech lecha, go to Mount Moriah. What's happening in that moment? What is Abraham doing? He's trusting. Again, it's another sign of faith. It's trust, yes, it's definitely trust, for those of you who shouted trust. But it's another, so you've got this walking with a sense of faith, with the sense of trust. There's this momentum moving towards something. Now have a look at Leviticus. This is taking us completely in a different, is it your parsha? It's Ellie's parsha. That Ellie's parsha. We're walking, now we're going to have a look at this idea of halach, of walk in a different way. The bottom of the page. If you follow my laws and faithfully observe my commandments, im bechukotai telchu. So it should be at the bottom of the page. Don't turn over just yet. Do not turn over just yet. I can see everybody's looking onto the next page. So this is another thing. It says, this is a call in a different way to action. It's a call to doing something in the here and now. If you do my mitzvot, if you observe my mitzvot, it's about all the things that we talk about, and I'm going to use the blanket statement for this. It's about observing the commandments. It's about doing tikkun olam, perhaps. So we've got this idea of halach, to walk to a place, a spiritual place, a walk of faith, and now a walk of doing. Ignore the top paragraph on the second page for a moment. And I want to draw us back to nitzavim, this word nun sadi vav. And in here, the title of the section is called Angels Are Omdim. What does amod mean? Amad. Right. It's to stand. What is an amud? It's a column or a pillar. That we call this an amud. Right? This lectern we call an amud. So one idea here is that even though the word amud is not used in this particular concept, they talk about an angel that is standing. How do angels stand? We do it every Shabbat. We do it every time we recite the Kedusha, not just on Shabbat, but on the holidays, at a minyan. Not before we get to the tippy toes, we become like the angels. When we do Kadosh, 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 we go Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. That's all I'm going to sing for you. So what do? Our feet join together, and our legs become one amud, one pillar, as opposed to the rest of the time when we might stand. We become, so the angels interpret this idea of standing, or the rabbis interpret the ideas of standing, of nitzav, as becoming one pillar with our legs. And that becomes, if your legs are one pillar, can you walk? No, because they've got to be tight together. And then we go up like the angels. It's not far to fall, thankfully. It's not like I'm up there. So they're saying that the angels are really stuck in their place. And so they want to differentiate as well between angels and humans. We're not talking about angels flying in this concept. And the idea behind that is that the angels are immovable. They're immovable because they're unlike humans, they don't have free will. Angels of Melachei Hasharet. They're messengers of God doing God's will. And so we want to play, if we play on this word of Amud or Omdim, to become very stationary. So we go from last week of being stationary, of receiving Torah, to understand that we can also be stationary, stuck in our ways, and immovable. So we go from, here we are receiving Torah, we're receiving Torah, to then being told, now don't get stuck in Torah, move with Torah. What's the word for Jewish law? Halakha. It means walking. It's halach, halakha. It means walking. Are we supposed to get stuck in Jewish law? Or are we supposed to move with Jewish law? So halakha, you're saying, Peter, is organic, it's moving, it's evolutionary, just like common law. It's supposed to be organic, it's supposed to change with new understanding and interpretation. Well, that's where we are in the progressive movement. We don't reject halakha. We look at halakha and we interpret it. And we've got to keep this, this momentum definitely moving. And again, I want to just bring this idea of where are we at the moment? We're on Shabbat Shuvah. What are we doing when we're on Shabbat Shuvah or with Teshuvah? Are we standing still? Or are we moving? We're moving. We're in this cycle of returning. Who said returning to oneself? Was that you, Victor? We're returning to oneself. We're returning to our faith. We're returning to the mitzvot. We're returning to receive Torah. But I want to now push us in a completely different direction. And we're not going to go into, this is mainly just to think about. I'm going to give you some big topics, some blanket topics of issues that we face today. And I want you to think, because we don't have time for a big discussion on each one, are we nitzav? Are we stuck on these issues? Or are we moving them forward to a positive outcome? So that's the questions. Women's rights. Are we stuck? Or are we moving forward? We're moving. Chetzi, chetzi, half, half. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So we're more aware, but being aware isn't only to start. What about climate crisis? Or climate change, climate crisis? We're being dragged backwards. Same thing. Right, I love that, Sue. We're stuck, but if you have a look at our children, who I would have supported absolutely to ditch school to go on a march. I don't know if I would have ditched work. Would I have been allowed to ditch work? I'm speaking to our president. What about, I don't want to go to Brexit. What about refugees? Not a laughing matter, refugees. We're stuck. Aren't we stuck? There's no momentum forward. What about Shabbat? Are we evolving in our Shabbat practice? Or are we stuck? Are we complacent? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. We're going forward. Because there are more, you think there are more people engaged in Shabbat, making teshuvah. What about kashrut? Kashrut? I'm having you think very differently now, aren't I? The big issues we can answer clearly, but when it comes to Jewish practice, Are we evaluating if we're stuck or if we're moving forward? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I can now give you another example of a big topic, which is very personal as well. Euthanasia. Right? Are we stuck or moving forward? Again, it's a personal response, isn't it? Depends where you live, but so people would say, some people would say, well, now if we've got euthanasia, we're moving backwards. What right do we have to play God? We're not going to get into the bigger conversation there. Personally, that's not my view. Anti-Semitism. I've only got one more example after anti-Semitism. We're going backwards. Some people say we're going back to Germany in 1930s, with the incidence of anti-Semitism on the rise. Well, it's not just about becoming more prominent because of social media, it's about the complacency and people just accepting it and not speaking up and out. And then the last example, which is one that hit our media, hit the Jewish community very hard this week, it was all over the news, child sex abuse. With Malka Leifer, be out on parole. Right? So we think we got momentum. She's been before the courts 58 times or something like that. Are we stuck or are we moving forward? We're moving backwards, it feels that we're moving backwards with some of the issues. I don't bring up these answers for you to go, oh my God, the world's a mess, I'm now going to go home and like, oy vey. But to kind of push us into thinking, what are these issues that move us forward? And where are we moving ourselves forward? Where are we holchim? Where are we walking? Versus where are we stuck? And that's also in our own opinions. So just a little bit of food for thought to kind of push us out of that comfort zone. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue now with the Seder Kriyat Torah, the Torah service on page 362.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kamasecha, malachutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai ozer mo'yitein, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Avarachamim, heitiva v'tzanecha et Zion. Tivnech amot Yerushalayim,
seated. If you'd like to follow along in the Torah reading, we are on page 1547. 1547. We're reading from Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 1. Chapter 31, verse 1. I think there are some Chumashim coming around, right? There are a few under the chairs. They weren't cleared as they often have been in years gone past. So I'd like to call to Torah for our first Aliyah, Talmud Lalia Torah, Rivka Bat Peretz Umarta. We call to the reading of Torah, Rebecca Silk. Caroline Paz will hold the yad and read from Torah. Caroline, if you can show where we're reading from. It's him, it's of him.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Vayelech Moshe Vayedaber et hadevarim ha'ele el kol Yisrael vayomer aleichem ben mea ve'esrim shana anochi hayom lo uchal od letzet ve'lavor va'adonai amar elai lo ta'avor et hayadin hazeh Adonai Elohecha hu over lefanecha hu yashmid et hagoyim ha'ele milfanecha virishtam Yehoshua hu over lefanecha ka'asher diber Adonai.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chaye olam nata betochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Sheberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov Imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel Leah. May the God of our ancestors bless you, Rebecca, as you're called to Torah, in honor of God, in honor of Shabbat Shuvah, and in honor of the work that you've been doing, not just as president over the last year and a bit, we're getting close to 2 years, so it's more than a year and a bit, but the work that goes into being president behind the scenes and all that you've done in preparation for the high holidays with the board and the committee. It's not often we get to just call you up as president. You're often called up with your other board colleagues, many of whom are here. But to just take a moment to pause, to stop before we start walking again, just to say Toda Rabba Lach, to say thank you for the work of your hands, the work of your heart, and the work that you do in helping us create a Kehillah Kedusha, this holy community. With God's blessing, we say Amen and thank you. Mazel Tov. For our second Aliyah, we call to Torah. Talmud Lalia Torah, Hashanit Tzipora Bat Yehuda Halevi Va'ilsa. We call to the reading of Torah for our second Aliyah, Sue Morgan. Our Torah reading continues on page 1547, and we are at verse number 4, and Ruja is coming up behind me as she takes the yad.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach.
Baruch Adonai hamarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamavorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
It's okay. It's okay.
Amen. Va'asa Adonai lahem ka'asher asa leSihon ule'og malhei ha'emori ule'artzam asher hishmid otam u'netanam Adonai lifneihem va'asitem lahem kechol hamitzvah asher tziviti ethem hizku ve'imtzu al tira'u ve'al ta'artzu mipneihem ki Adonai Elohecha hu hacholech imach lo yarpecha ve'lo yasvecha.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Mishaberach Hamatena Rahamitzach Yaakov Imotena Sarif Karachavle. May the God of our ancestors bless you, sirs. You're called to Torah in honor of Torah, in honor of God, in honor of Shabbat, in honor of Shabbat Teshuvah, but in honor of the work that you really do behind the scenes and the work of your heart. And I've started to think about all the different things you are involved in. You're involved in the choirs singing on the high holidays called Simcha, Ruach, and that's just the start. I know that you every now and again, you and Rabbi Morgan, you go down to Nourish to help out there. But I want to focus on what you did last night. And I want to focus on the beautiful words of what you spoke about the also holy work, Hila Kedusha, creating a holy community through the progressive Chevra Kedusha, where you just spoke with so much warmth and beauty about the important work of when somebody dies, lovingly taking care of them, of washing through Tahara. And it was the warmth and the passion which moved me so very much, because it's one of the most selfless acts a person can do. And I know you don't do this alone, and that there's a team of men and there's a team of women working with people, obviously men with men and women with women, when they pass on from this life to help them transition to their next life, to do something that can never be repaid by the person we're doing it for. And that's, in a sense, one of the highest mitzvot. It is a beautiful thing, and I hope that people do step forward and step up to be part of the progressive Chevra Kedusha. Chevra Kedusha means people who do holy work. Chevra is like I want to say brotherhood, but it's not a brotherhood. It's a brotherhood and it's just a peoplehood of holiness to do this work.
And there are at least 5 or 6 people from the team here today.
And so it's also, you don't know necessarily who's part of the team. You do if you're part of the team. It's like this, as you put it last night, the secret men's and secret women's business. But if you do have any questions, please do talk to Sue, or I won't out the other team members, because this really is a very private and personal undertaking. But Sue's standing up to say, come talk to me and be part of this holy work. And we thank you as a community, as part, and not just to say thank you for the work that if you pass it on to all the colleagues here, to the progressive Chevra Kedusha for the work that you do. And with God's blessing, we say Amen.
Thank you.
And so for our last Aliyah, we call to Torah, Yamdu Laliyah Torah Kola Evelim, we call to Torah members of our congregation and extended community who are here to remember a loved one, who are here for yahrzeit. Our Torah reading continues on page 1547 with verse 7.
Yeah.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'chalanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
ויקרא משה ליהושע ויאמר אליו לעיני כל ישראל חזק ואמץ כי אתה תבוא את העם הזה אל הארץ אשר נשבע אדוני לאבותם לתת להם ואתה תנחילנה אותם ואדוני הוא ההולך לפניך הוא יהיה עמך לא ירפך ולא יעזבך לא תירא ולא תחת ויכתוב משה את התורה הזאת ויתנה אל הכהנים בני לוי הנושאים את ארון ברית אדוני ואל כל זקני ישראל.
Amen. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah. May the God of our ancestors bless you as your call to Torah, in honor of Torah, in honor of God, in honor of Shabbat Shuvah, and in honor of the memory of the loved ones who you hold in your hearts at this time. For some of you, your mourning is very recent, and it goes, for some of you, it does go back a few years. But even in that, whether it's a few days, or a few years, or a few decades, you're standing here in solidarity of grief, of knowing what it means to lose someone that is very close to you, to lose someone that is in your heart. And I feel that at this time, around the holidays, it's compounded. That grief is compounded because you really are sitting in shul and you have that time to think. You're sitting around festival holiday tables and there's an empty seat, there's an empty space, and you feel that emptiness in your hearts. But know that you don't stand alone, but you're being lovingly supported by this congregation and community of family and friends to hold you up. Just as Moses, when he was facing, in this parsha, he's facing his death, knowing that he was being held up as well by the whole community of Israel. May you be blessed with memories that bring you joy and moments that bring you joy as you share in these memories. And we say, wish you not just a long life, but a good life. And if you've got a long life already, then a very good life. And we say, Amen. We remain with the Torah open to think of loved ones in need of healing of body, healing of mind, and healing of soul. We're on page 371. Page 371. Sue Brown, Rona Zinger, Don Williams, Nisimiona Ben Natan Shmuel Vasheli, Orben Miriam Yuval, Ruth Myers, Glennis Perry, Ruth Taft, Gabrielle Ben Chaya, Adira Bat Rachel, Bella Magid, Hannah Bat Dora, Mel Wright, Rosemary Moore, Morris Mark, Douglas Simons, Diana Bliss, Morris Elijah, Mayor Shalom Ben Rachel, Pam Dean, and Esther Jalowski. If you'd like to share the name of a loved one for healing, I invite you to do so at this time.
Bill Breyer.
Blessed is God who brings healing to those who are unwell and strength to their caregivers, and we say, Amen. Amen. We rise now for Hagba and Glila as we lift and dress the Torah.
The Haftarah for this Shabbat Shuvah is found on page 1634, 1634 in the Machzor. It's not the haftarah for our portion this week by Yelech, but it's a special haftarah, which is always read on Shabbat Shuvah, which itself is named after the first word in the portion. Shuvah Yisrael ad Adonai Elohecha ki chashalta ba'avonecha. Return, O Israel, to the eternal your God, for you have fallen, or stumbled is a better word, because of your sin. So when we walk the way, sometimes we stumble as well. And that's something to look out for. The Haftarah includes sections from 3 different prophets, unusually. Hosea is the opening section. Then we have a short passage from the prophet Micah, which includes the line that gives rise to the Tashlich ceremony, which is when we go to a body of water and cast our sins into it. That's v'tashlich b'msulot yam kol chatotam. You will cast all your sins into the depths of the sea. It was based on that passage that we perform Tashlich. And then there's a passage from the prophet Joel, which we won't be reading this morning. We'll just be reading from Hosea and Micah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachal b'neviim tovim, v'ratza b'divreihem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher b'tova, u'b'Moshe abdo, u'b'Yisrael amo, u'b'nviei ha'emet v'tzedek. Shuva Yisrael, Shuva Yisrael. Excuse me. I've had a cold, and this is the after effect of it. Shuva Yisrael ad Adonai Elohecha, ki chashalta b'avonecha, kirchu imachem devarim, v'shuvu el Adonai, imru elav, kol tisavon v'kach tov, Unashal farim shefatenu, Ashur lo yoshienu, Al sus lo nirkav, V'lo nomar od, Eloheinu l'maaseh yadeinu, Asher b'cha yerucham yatom, El pa meshuvatam, Ohavem nedava, ki shav api mimenu. Ehyeh chatal Yisrael, yifrach kashoshana, v'yad sharashav kalvanon, yelachu yonakotav, V'hi chazayit hodo, v'reach lo kalvanon. Yashuvu yoshvei v'tzilo, yichayu dagan, v'yiflechu chagafen, zichro keyen levanan. Ephraim mali'od latzavim, Ani tivashurienu, Ani kivrosh ranan mimeni, peryecha nimsa, mi chacham v'yaven ele navon v'yeduem, ki yesharim darchei Adonai, v'tzadikim yelchu b'ham, u'foshim yikashlu b'ham. And from the prophet Micah, Mi'el kamocha nosei avon bover al pesha l'sherid nachalat to lo hechazik la'ad apo ki chafetz chesed hu Yashuv yirachamenu yichbosh avonoteinu v'tashlich b'msulot yam kol chatotam titen emet liYaakov chesed l'Avraham asher nishbat al avoteinu Mimei kedem Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Sur kol haolamim tzadik b'chol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'oser ha'medaber u'mekayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek Al HaTorah v'al Avodah v'al HaNevi'im v'al Yom HaShabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu l'kedusha v'lemnucha l'chavod u'letifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach u'mavarachim otach yitbarach shemcha b'fi kol chai tamid le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
L'chaim. We rise for the prayer for our country and the state of Israel, and then we will return the Sefer Torah to the Ark, and we'll segue straight into Aleinu and then to Kadesh. We're on page 377 for the prayer for Israel.
Bless our country of Australia and all its people. Let us have dreams in this historic land of dreamers. Let the hot winds from the desert fire imagination. Let the red soil of the plains keep us rooted to the things that matter. Let the waters of our rivers, lakes and oceans flow into our hearts, giving us depth and understanding. Keep our eyes open to the beauty of this land. May we strive to keep its beauty present and strong. Help us to remember those who have lived in this land before us and those who have made it their home in more recent times. May we never be lazy in the work for peace. May we honour those who have died in defence of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they lead with justice and compassion. Let our compassion be like the encompassing coastlines of our continent. May acceptance, kindness and peace live steadily within this ancient and enduring land. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there, and let us say, Amen.
Remain standing as we return the Torah to the Ark. We're on page 374.
Hallelujah, Shem Adonai, Yidiskam Shem Olevado, Odu Aleret Veshamayim, Ayorem Keren Le'amo,
Page 586. Remain standing as we continue with the mourners' Kaddish Yatom. For the Shloshim, we remember Ron Aarons, Susie Cymbalus, Stephanie Heller, Joseph Isaac, Evelyn Lenton, Zinnik Obazanek, Josephine Salomon, Leon Siegel, Rini Silva, Robert Smorgan, Helen Stanton, and Susan Wilder. And the yard sites anniversaries of whose death we remember at this time. We think of Amelia Aarons, Sasha Alexander, Yvonne Ben Tata, Arthur Best, Esther Shakan, Michael Cotton, Erna Curtis, Edna Flack, Ruth Goddard, Paula Goldberg, Betty Goodman Salve, Sylvia Green, Bert Hand, Louis Joseph Hyams, Esther Kaufman, Jessie Kaufman, Teresa Kaufman, Laura Kippen, Baron Lebransky, Nancy Gelder Marks, Richard Malzik, Rolly Minsky, Ellen Moser, Erica Newman, Stella Opas, Lou Rotman, Sarah Siegel, Colin Silva, Charles Sloanham, Leon Splitter, Evelyn Taft, Greta Tobias, Joy Tregoning, Richard Valentine, and Hugo Wolf. If you'd like to remember the name of a loved one, I invite you to share their names at this time. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may the memory of the righteous be for a blessing. As we join together on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad divrach yiritei v'yamlich malchutei, chayachon v'yomechon u'v'chayeda chol Beit Yisrael, v'agalav izman kariv v'yimeru. Amen. Yahei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitada v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha barichu, le'elal u'memed min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbachata v'nechemata, Damiran bi'alma v'immaru. Yehei shlam merabah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'akol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'akol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. Hamakom yenachem echem, b'toch sha'ah havlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved in Zion and Jerusalem and around the world, and we say, Amen. As we are seated, I invite our President to make some announcements. Rebecca, you can just use the lower.
Thank you, Rabbi. And thank you, Rhonda, Ellie and Edo for your liturgy this morning. Welcome everyone to services here at Temple Beth Israel. Special welcome, whatever brings you to shul, and welcome to those of you who are here in memory and those who are watching on live streaming. I think it's 3 more sleeps till Kol Nidre. Kol Nidre is on Tuesday. We will start at 7:15. And then, of course, the following day is Yom Kippur. So we start with the tot service for the babies up to 5 years old here at 9 o'clock. The creche will open beside us in the preschool building at 9:45, so any tots can be taken there, or parents are most welcome to join their tots. And the creche is open for the duration of the morning services, which are 10 o'clock here in the main sanctuary and 10:30 upstairs for the family service. And the family service is for the target age of 5 years plus. Yizkor will start here at 5:30 p.m, Nila at 6:45, and as Rabbi Ettlinger said, we will conclude at 11 minutes past 8 due to daylight saving time. Yes, it'll feel like a long day, but it will be absolutely wonderful because we will be using our new Mishkan Tefillah for the first time on Yom Kippur, and the liturgy is wonderful. Some of the readings that we will dip into will also be fantastically meaningful service. So do please join us. Sukkot then is on Sunday the 13th, and we will have our family activities with fun and decorating of the sukkah at 4:30 on that day, Sunday the 13th, followed by Ma'ariv service at 6:15. If by any chance you haven't got your ticket yet for services, or you need tickets for guests, then you can still phone the office on Monday or Tuesday and arrange that. And that's it for Yom Kippur. I have one save the date for you. Every year or so we have a TBI breakfast with an interesting speaker. This year the TBI breakfast will be on Wednesday the 6th of November, and our guest speaker is Dave Sharma. He is the Member of Parliament for Wentworth and was formerly the Australian Ambassador to Israel. He'll be speaking on the Australia-Israel story. He's a really, really good speaker. It should be a very interesting morning. We'll be sending you out invitations and more information later on. Thank you, Yaja, for being our shamash this morning. Thank you, Yaja. Thank you to our laners, Caroline, Ruja and Rena. Thank you, Joanne and John, my fellow board members, for being in attendance. Could you please pop your books back just behind us in the middle of the sanctuary, and join us for Kiddush after the final song. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Are we doing a shofar today? And you might not recognise this one. L'shana tova tikateinu, l'shana tova tikateinu, tikateinu, tikateinu.
Shana Tova, everybody. Please join us for Kiddush and Motzi. You've got far to walk. So of course the dark one is wine and the lighter is grape juice. There should be labels on the trays as well.
Israel et ha-Shabbat, Asan et ha-Shabbat, ledor tamberitola. Ve'yiu ve'menei Israel, oti le'olam, Yisheshet yamin asa Adonai, et ha-shamayim ve'et haaretz, uvayom hashvi, Shabbat vayinavad.
Al Kain Barak Adonai Yom HaShabbat Vayakadashehu, and God sanctified the Shabbat and called it a delight. Zavri.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
L'chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
B'tei Avon, everybody. Shabbat Shalom, Shana Tova U'Metuka. It's very hot. The color's hot.
I hope you had a wonderful birthday. I heard you had a lovely birthday. Yes? Good. But now I feel like it doesn't matter. If I can come on a Sunday, I have to do things thinking in my head, I have to win again to this one. So I have to who I have to in my class. So I forget my Holy Spirit, and I forget, let me eat, but you need to this time I know who it is, so I'll ask Can you tell me I'm getting there, so you know if I can
Best I can do. Oh, there is I just got
So for me it will be Sunday. I would like to do this. So send me text and
This is the worst photo I've ever experienced.
I ordered new for my niece. She lives in find out because of my, you know, if I have had it in the just have yeah, but I don't think you would ever put that this is a plastic. Nearby my house. I love coloring. The color. Hood. Right now in the school we go back in between to do some more work. Check the color. We began behind
See you later, young man. Don't worry about it, don't worry about it. I can avoid it. No, never.